WCLN 1170 Radio and Star Communications Channel 16 proudly present the We Should Know Show, an upbeat, informative look at people, places, and issues facing our community. This education-based analysis of issues will remain positive and informative. Celebrating 15 years of bringing you the We Should Know Show, here's your host, J.W. Simmons.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We Should Know is on there. I want to thank you for being with us today. My name is J.W. Simmons. I'm your host. We're talking about things that probably you feel like you know a lot about, and certainly I thought I knew a lot about. It's the whole world of landscaping and plants in a more particular area, looking at it through the eyes of someone that's done this for many years, and his name is Raymond Bray with Terra Cottage Farms right here at Beulah Road in Clinton, North Carolina. Raymond, thank you for coming in today and sitting down, having a conversation with us. Anybody that knows you knows that you've probably got 300 or 400 things on your mind to do now. But as we talked off air, Raymond, this whole show is kind of built around the premise of information and education. And one of the areas sometimes that I think I know a lot about, and every time I talk to folks like you, I discover how little I do know. But that world of that you're in, of landscaping and plants, you've got a huge background in it. And I want to start the whole conversation today with just kind of tell us how you ended up in Clinton. And there's been several articles published, with the Sampson Independent Sun articles on you and Terra Cottage Farms. Why was Clinton in this area important to you?
Well, Clinton, this area is important to me because I bought some land out here. And I enjoy hunting, so that became a big tract of land for me to be hunting on. So that's what brought me here. I know quite a few people here in the community as well, and I've gotten to know a lot more of the community in itself over the years. But I finally settled back down here. I finally settled here in 22. Mm-hmm. I bought Darden's Nursery. Everybody knew it as Jim Darden's old nursery, Darden Nursery out on Beulah Road. And decided to go ahead and just plant my roots here. So take some time off and so-called retire operating a nursery and garden center. So
it sounds like that this area and the rural landscape was something you were looking for. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm a country boy by heart.
Okay. So, but you came from a populated area and a lot of folks that probably, I'm going to use the word high demand in the Wilmington landscape down there. And that particular area was interesting to me, particularly when I look at it from your position as owner and operator of Outdoor Creation Landscaping in Wilmington. Some fascinating photos of landscapes you've created down there.
Yeah, quite a history in it, yeah. So quite a bit of history. When I first went to Wilmington, it was still country. So, but it's grown. So
tremendously.
It's grown a lot. So a lot of that, and with that, it just got to be there. 35 years with putting together a landscape construction and a design, build, and maintain corporation in Wilmington. So I got to see a lot of things grow in Wilmington, saw the diversity, saw development, saw a lot of needs, and I witnessed areas that were covered in trees and farmland be built and developed. So there was a big demand for that in that area as well. So it did well. We all did well out there. So a lot of us that started out down there did very well. Now there's quite a bit more involved in it, but there's a lot more companies out there.
I think one of the things I'm seeing too, and it's in the literature, is that we're seeing more and more farmlands being moved to houses, developments, large landscapes, everything from golf courses to rural communities laid out, which is to some degree to folks like Steve Troxler and others that's in agriculture, it's kind of concerning because where are they going to put the crops?
There you go. That's always been a big concern. So as far back as I can even tell you, it's just the use of farmland. New Hanover County alone, with all their farmland, a lot of it was sold off. You have older generations that gave in, that handed down a lot of land to their younger generations, but they were not farmers. So they wanted to offload it. So they just started selling off land. And you have the same principles here too. But that's a huge area in which to try and touch into, because it has so many opinions and it's affected by so many things. China and tariffs and stuff. We can talk about all that. But, with the agricultural in itself, it's the importance is that we have that agriculture and we maintain that, so and not try to overdevelop it.
Help me kind of understand, when you ended up in this landscape, as you said, you bought property here and you were staking out your area here. What did you notice as some of the significant changes in not only your perspective, but how you see things versus how you saw them in Wilmington? Was there more a sense of people concerned about getting their yards mowed rather than getting a landscape design done?
Well, observation in just the Wilmington area alone for the over 30 years I was out there, the demand changed. Okay, it changed, and the demographics became where you had locals versus now you have transplants. So a lot of the North was moving south because the tax bases were a lot more cost effective. They were cheaper. Yeah. So, and when you have that movement, what we saw was the culture itself started to change, the politics started to change, and codes started to change, and people inserting themselves. So that's where you find that's like a whole nother area where we really can go into so many different things. But I'm not more that. I just sat there and watched. With my background as a consultant in the industry that I was involved with, or that I'm still involved with, I was appointed and elected to do different things with the county, the planning and development. So I sat as on a judiciary board and listened to appeals for zoning, planning. Did that for quite a few years. So I heard different cases, but most of the biggest challenges I understand out of all of it is the overdevelopment of what's going on.
Absolutely. And I think that overdevelopment is what I'm hearing, not only from folks that are on development boards, that are on governance boards, the commissioners and town council people, is that, how do we look at that, and how do we move it that we don't want to cause people not to want to come. We want more people to come, but at the same time, how do we design that and make it attractable for folks, and let them understand there's certain things that need to be done before you just put a house there. I think I'm circling back to something you mentioned the other day, and I've learned so much just going out to Terra Cottage Farms, and I encourage everybody to do that. But one of the things that you mentioned was that whole area of understanding what that looked like in the beginning. And this is an example you used. I'm going to let you talk about it. You said a lot of times that folks will build a house, and I'm paraphrasing, it's not a quote, but they'll build a house, they'll dig the foundation, and they take the stuff that's not good to grow plants and pile it up, put the foundation in it, and put that. Tell us that story.
Okay, we're going to go into a whole nother ballgame.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to talk about soil science.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, that's basically.
So that's critical, though.
That is very critical.
That's the first stop.
It's critical. It's important for agriculture. It's important for construction. It's important for all aspects of any form of development, be it a field or be a development or being a commercial building. Mm-hmm. So. The importance of when you start getting into overdevelopment, you start to look for areas in which to plant into or build into. Mm-hmm. Some areas are agreeable, some areas are not. You can get an area that's a wetland, or it has a high water table. Mm-hmm. And you'll have to develop it. You'll have to figure out what the best purpose is or what the best usage is for that. Mm-hmm. And that's where you get into the soil associations, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and soil sciences. Mm-hmm. So what befits the land? So in agriculture, we use the soil associations and structures to understand those structures to best of what we can plant into it. Is it good for crop production? And crop being, is it good for forestry, or is it good for peanuts, soybeans, it could be sweet potatoes, it could be anything rotational. Or is the land not suitable for that and better off for just straight forestry, growing trees? Or if it is growing trees and it has no other purpose, and the homeowner, the landowner wants to sell it off, can it be used for development? So will it have a development purpose? Those are the things that you find with soil sciences and soil associations and studying of that. When it comes to homeowners and they buy a new house, like we were talking about in my line of work, you build a new house. You're dealing with the builder and the developer, and you have your what you have a certificate of occupancy is what you need. So, and they give you a budget within that building and the construction of the house. And they might say, I got $5,000 we're going to set aside. That's going towards the landscape. What is that supposed to cover? Well, in my time, in my history, in my background, sometimes $5,000 barely covered anything. So you would get grass has to be established. So usually you would see sod being rolled out. Then you see an irrigation system going in. The irrigation, you put the irrigation in, then you do your sod, and then you would do a foundation planting. And that would be it. That was enough to go ahead and get the certificate of occupancy passed through. The house was up on market for sale, or the homeowners were able to move in. So then you see later on down the road. Now, you would find a lot of people coming in and you do consultant work saying, I'm having trouble with some of my plants. Well, I say, what kind of problem you have? And they're saying, well, they're not growing. We've been here 3 years. We haven't seen anything. They still look like the day they were installed. Well, and then I would go over and I say, well, I can do some consultant work for you. We can come over and take a look and do that. I would always start out using soil sciences because, you could take a $50 plant and put it into a 50-cent hole. Your return on investment is going to be next to zero. If anything, it'll be none. You'll lose out. So we would always talk. Anytime I did landscape work myself, my own designs, my own plantings, I always started with soil testing. So I knew what was going to be available, what I could use, what we would have to do to change up or implement, and put the proper landscape in so it would be proliferate.
We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back, and I want to kind of follow up on that. I've got an additional question I want to toss into that pile of thinking.
Welcome to Cork and Brew Roseboro, where you can enjoy your favorite coffee, fraps, smoothies, bakery items, sandwiches, and select beer and wines while reconnecting with friends and family. Sit down and enjoy the experience. Come on by and give us a try.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. J.W. Simmons here. The name of the show is We Should Know. I'm your host. We're talking with Raymond Bray, Terra Cottage Farms, right here in Clinton, North Carolina, 2730 Buell Road. Need to stop by and see Raymond. Raymond, on great. We've had a great conversation. We can just kind of try and transfer it so folks can hear us. But I want to pick up this second part of the show and kind of step in for a moment into that world and ask that question. Is landscaping an art form? And for most of the articles that are out there, not only is it an art form, you can look at what somebody has done, and you can almost look at their signature on it somewhere.
Well, I wouldn't say it. Like, landscaping is an art form because you're trying to create a design dust. So, but there's a lot of factors that go in with that art forms: horticulture, arboriculture, soil sciences, the engineering background. You got to have that knowledge and put them all together, combine them all together, be able to put that landscape to let it thrive and grow.
there's a certain part of that, I think, as it's both the engineer and it's both a landscaper that you look at, which is you want it to be creative, but at the same time, that person that's looking at that, it has to have a certain emotional impact, just like a painting does or something. You look at something and I might see something in it that will affect me, whereas you might see something else. So you want to kind of look at that landscape and kind of paint into that landscape. Except you're using plants,
Right.
and sod and brick and whatever needs to be done, or stone, to make that landscape appealing to that person.
Right. But in my business alone, I always made that the creative concept always involved the consumer itself, the homeowners themselves, husband, wife, family, anybody that wanted to get involved in the design process. We invited in, and we wanted, because it's really their aspiration. It's what they want to see. And our job is to go ahead and paint that picture for, and be able to walk them in that way, walk them into that direction, be able to befit their overall concept. So is it going to be an overall complete installation or a complete landscape? Or is this something going to be something done over time? So let's do this phase, let's do that phase. But to be able to put an overall design concept together for them, and then work it and be with them for the lifetime of their home and them as well, as long as we can. So, and help them go ahead, have landscape, a pool, a patio, a fire pit, a lot of fire pits nowadays, and the thing to go in this, or just a big backyard. So, when you start out buying a home, you're a younger couple, but your lives change.
Mm-hmm.
So the landscape will change with you. So you have a home, but you want a big backyard because you want your kids to play soccer, or you're not a soccer family. You're more a twinkle, okay? Or you could be nothing. You might be highly reclusive and want a big fence.
Yeah.
So, or you could be wide open. It just depends on what we try to work with everybody in their own. How do we place attention to details, listen to what they have to say, and try to help them along in the plan.
So what I'm picking up here, which is I think something that I read also, is you don't want to go in and all of a sudden somebody says, well, I really don't know what to do here. You just tell me what I need to do. You're saying reverse that cycle and look at them and say, tell me about me.
That's even more the part of trying to listen.
So we're dealing with psychology now.
Yeah, it is psychology. So, but then again, isn't everything else that we do. Yeah, some people just don't want to hold back. You have a husband and wife, and husband's tall. I don't care. I just give her what she wants. It doesn't matter to me. No, it's very important that we have that. So, what's your insight? Well, if she's in charge, and that's okay. Then we understand she's in charge. So we'll go ahead and say, well, what's he like? What's his favorite colors? What's he? Oh, he's not much of an outdoor person, so it really doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but you try to feel your way through, and it is every person in that overall plant is a very big part of it, regardless. So you try to make that happen. Sometimes they just think, we want this. We want more tropical. We want Mediterranean. We want rustic. We want Tuscan appeal. We want it could say, well, this. You can show them different things. You can walk them through different aspects. Or they could just say, well, we just want landscape. We want to fit in there, or we have an HOA, or we have a POA. So we have to meet certain requirements of that. And that's where you just walk through that, put them in that design process. As far as it being an art, the final project, you want to leave your signature on that. And you want to be able to walk away yourself as a designer, as an architect, to say, yeah, that's what it requires.
Do you find that as somebody that knows landscape and design, do you find that sometimes part of the problems that you run into is that you were not engaged early enough in the process?
Well, sometimes it just doesn't happen that way. There'll be a new development.
Yeah,
a lot of what we did in our time was come in after the house had already built,
right?
Already had a certificate of occupancy, already had its landscape already installed as to what they did. And then it comes time that it's 5 years have gone by. They're not happy with the way things look. They add, they want to change. They want to do something differently. And then, yeah, we see it. We've done that. So gone in and revamped a complete landscape. So it just wasn't befitting. It wasn't doing anything. It wasn't growing. Then we get back into the soil sciences aspect, doing research on that, doing the testing, seeing what's going on to tell them what and why and things are.
Something that struck me a while back, we talked about this a little bit in our visit, when I visited your place over there, is that sometimes folks will look at something and they'll say, well, I'd like to have a couple of oak trees. But, and this is something that I was aware of, so I didn't understand the dynamic, but there's multiple species of oak trees, for example.
Yeah.
And a tree, particularly, whether it's oak, hickory, cypress, whatever it may be, has to fit that environment. And if you don't know there's multiple species, you may be thinking about an oak tree with a big leaf and there's oak trees with small leaves. And
Right.
help us understand why it's not only what you think, but what are you thinking in detail?
Well, you always I'm trying to talk to people, so always put the right plant in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important. The early spring, right around the Easter holiday, everybody's looking for dogwoods.
Right.
Okay. But dogwoods really have locally here in the state, in this part of the part of the country in North Carolina, dogwoods have come down with a disease. And it's called dogwoods declinate. So people want to put these trees into their landscape because they have a bit of leaf tree, and they have a beautiful flower, and they see them blooming. So they want to put one into your yard. So you can get one request for that. The challenges that I tell them, I say, we can get you a dogwood, but its potential is it won't succeed because it will get the disease. It's just here, and then it'll decline. So is this something you really want? Well, yeah, we have this big, wide open front lawn. Okay, well, it's not going to survive in that environment. Well, why not? My neighbor has one.
Yeah.
Okay. But the dogwoods generally like to be under the canopy of the trees. That's where they prefer to be. So they need that dappled light. They need that break. So, and that's where they prefer, and they'll be more successful there than it would be stuck out in a centipede lawn or a grassy area in full sun, just getting blacks. They just don't prefer them. So it's a lot of stress. So again, plant stress too, soil sciences. Always put the right plant in the right place.
I think that's important for folks to kind of circle back on, particularly not only in the spring, but this time of the year. As we're kind of approaching the holiday season and all this, they look at, well, what can I do? Somebody mentioned the other day, well, I'm going to buy a tree, and it's going to be in a pot, and as soon as I get the lights off of it, then I'm going to go put it in my yard.
Right.
What's going on with that perspective?
Well, we can use one point of that perspective as people purchasing Christmas tree growers will sell you a live Christmas tree all for life. I've seen it happen. I've seen where the people buy it and they put it up, it's gorgeous, but then they go ahead and put it in their yard with the anticipation that it's going to survive. And they don't. They just try. It's too hot. They belong out there in the mountainous region. And here we sell them Christmas trees, use them for the holiday season, and what do we do? Out on the curb lot. So, but the type of pines and the firs that they have, they don't survive this environment. So, again, looking at proper plant, proper place, know what you're looking at, understanding what you're buying, and know what to anticipate if you do put that in your yard. So, pick the right plant. So, I always try to communicate with folks is to put the right plant in the right place. Do some research, understand it. If you don't, ask questions and see what befits you the most.
And that's where that exchange comes in. It sounds to me like a landscaper is not only somebody that comes in and just does work, but it's somebody that has to educate people about the work.
There are those that just do work, and then there are those that educate.
That takes more time. But the results is usually better, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I would say so. I definitely agree with that. if I get myself, if I'm looking for information, I always try to educate myself on it and get the best information. I just don't sit there and just say, okay, just get it done. So, because I'm not going to be happy with the result.
And it seems to me that an old adage is coming to mind as we're talking here too, is that old adage is you get what you pay.
Yeah. Well, it's like, yeah.
Sometimes you get what you don't pay for, but you get what you see.
Yeah, it can go either way too. So
we're going to take a break. We'll come back and I'm going to dig a little bit deeper into plants and their availability here in this particular area and kind of get your experience from some of those plants. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in a moment. Stay with us, call a friend. We're talking about landscaping. Things that sometimes you don't have time for, but it's very important for the looks and the continuation of the beauty of your home and what's happening around you. We're talking with Raymond Bray. Stay tuned.
How can your friend save you money? It's easy. Refer a relative, coworker, neighbor, or friend to Star Communications. Friend signs up for high-speed internet service. Friend's new account is confirmed. Friend gives your name to our service representative as the one who referred them to Star. You receive a $30 internet credit. It's just that simple. And even better, receive a $30 internet credit for every referral that results in a new confirmed account. High-speed internet from Star Communications. Refer a friend today.
Providing less, you froze up, and more presence in your presentations. Providing a better internet experience. Providing possible.
If you run a business, you need sales. To get sales, you need customers. To get customers, you need exposure. Let our team of experts craft and produce the perfect video ad to reach your intended audience while making the most of your advertising dollars. Call 1-800-706-6538 or visit starcom.net to contact our Star Communications production team and get your business moving to the next level.
Let's get out of here.
Protect what matters most in your life with security from Star Communications.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We Should Know is on there. Thank you for staying with us today. We're coming up on the third part of the show. We're talking about landscaping, plants, growing things, the layout that you see around you each and every day as you come to your home or you come to your business. What would you like to see? Is it comforting to you? Is it inspiring to you? We're talking to a gentleman here that's done this for years and has decades of experience. Raymond Bray, and Raymond's with Terra Cottage Farms right here in Clinton. And I want to repeat this as much as I can. 2730 Beulah Road. And Raymond, we've talked, it's like we talk as much off air as we do on air. Yeah. So I want to try to get as much as we can in this last couple of parts of the show here. But one of the things we were just talking about is there's a lot of folks that will sell you plants. And when you look at it, you look at that plant and it's up to you to figure out, is that going to be a fit in my landscape? Is it going to be something that's going to last? Particularly at certain seasons of the year. And of course, the holiday season that we're coming into now is one of those seasons. And it's everything from azaleas to trees, to Christmas trees particularly.
Right.
Give us an overview from a landscaper point of view with engineering background of just things people need to be aware of.
Well, just be aware of what you're purchasing. Okay. Just because it's pretty, it's on the shelf and it's available, doesn't mean it belongs in your landscape. It doesn't belong in you. If you're willing to give it up and it doesn't succeed, then you're comfortable. Then it's comfortable enough to purchase. But if you're looking for something that's going to last, just make sure you do some research on it. Of course, during the holiday season, we're dealing with Christmas plants. Okay. A lot of people like Christmas cactus. So, we have rosemary. We have, we have different miniature evergreen trees that come about. These are things that are meant to be sold for the season, for the season itself. They're not meant to be put into your landscape. So Christmas cactus itself, which is a real hot autumn. So you have your Thanksgiving, your Christmas, and your Easter cactus. So these are plants that belong in a warm environment. So it's not something you do. So when you buy a Christmas cactus, you're generally looking at putting it in the house. So, and then you'll wind up keeping it, and it grows, and you're happy with it. Bloom comes back every year for you. Poinsettias, there's another plant. Don't belong in the landscape. So they belong in the house. So, it's a lot to grow them. So if you have it for the year and you want to try to grow it, just remember how the plant works and what it does, and that you have to stick it in the closet for a while just to get the leaves to turn back to the color that you purchased it at. So they'll be green.
So poinsettias particularly is one of the plants I see probably more of at Christmas. I guess it's because of the red color and those kinds of things.
There's all kinds of colors.
But they have, like you said, they have multiple colors. Talk to us. Let's dig into that just a little bit. I know a lot of churches and organizations will buy them and just have them. I'm talking large numbers of them. What should they understand when they're buying these things as far as the maintenance of those plants?
Well, they're grown in a greenhouse environment, but they're grown in a darker environment. They're not grown and they all of a sudden the top of that plant just is a different leaf. They're forced into that color. So, and now we have so many, they're genetically modified to be different colors: speckled, oranges, yellows, whites, flakes. Those there, we used to be general are just our general whites and our reds. Now there's a whole nother palette available in the poinsettia as well. So,
are they sustainable? I mean, is it something if they were looked after properly, could they be there 6 months, 6 years, a month? How long are they supposed to?
I know folks that have them and they grow them just for their own pleasure. So they get them for the season, then they grow them. I know people that just love growing them. So, and they do that for themselves individually. Wow. But they know, but they've done the research, they've done the science, they've figured out how to go ahead and cut this plant back and then regrow it through the season, and then how to put it into a dark environment to get it to go ahead and change.
And it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, they'll get bigger and bigger, but you can pull them back or you can propagate them. I know folks that do that. There are those at home that have garden or that have tropical plants and stuff and do their own propagation and grow out things. So,
is there science behind all of what we're talking about that you need to look at the analytical science behind it before you just say, well, it looked good when I bought it and it's dying now? I didn't put any. No. Oh, by the way, you got to put water in it. Oh, I forgot that.
Well, I mean, just for the poinsettia in itself, some people just buy them just for the holiday season. They don't have any intentions of carrying that plant over.
Toss it.
When it's done, it's just that, and it goes out into the trash can. It browns out, it's done. It's over. Christmas trees, same thing. So the rosemary Christmas tree that you buy in the little decorative planter, you can, if you know how to grow rosemary, you can take that rosemary, put it out in the garden. So, but know how to grow the rosemary.
Yeah.
So poinsettias, they won't survive in the cold environments. So they're greenhouse grown plants. But when you're looking at buying plants in anywhere you go, know what you're buying. Do some time. If it's something that you have an intention of not being so concerned about, sure, certainly. But other than that, if you're looking for something that you want in your landscape that you're attracted to, pay attention to the details on it. Get to know the plant. Make sure it's right for your environment. Make sure it's what you're looking for, and it's going to do what you want it exactly to do. So.
Do you have folks, or would you welcome folks to come by your location, pull in there? It's easy access, in and out. If they have a question before they step in, because you could easily spend several $100s on plants. Right. Are you open to folks coming by saying, Raymond, on the show the other day, I saw you and I just wanted to come by and follow up and see if you can see what you think about this, and this. Are you open for that kind of?
We already have it now.
That's happening already.
That's happening already. So we have people that come in just to talk. Sometimes they have questions. Sometimes I'll just say, they'll have questions and I'll say, we'll do this. Come back in next weekend or whenever you get another chance, bring some pictures with you. We'll sit down and take a look at some things. We'll try to figure out, try to get you where you need to be with your landscape and what you want to do.
I think the important thing is in today's world, everybody's budget oriented. So I guess what I'm doing here is comparing the reality of them, first of all, checking in with you to kind of see what I'm thinking about doing. And at the point in time that you then say, well, I can do this, and you move into that environment and actually, go on site and that kind of thing, then you can work out a budget as it relates to, your time and your services. And if you supply the plants and that kind of thing. Yeah,
I'm more than happy to help out in any way. So if you have questions for me, come on in, talk to me, let me know what's going on. I'll be able to walk through things with you, show you some plants, show you some options. If not, if there's something that we don't have, we can probably get it for you. So walk you in the right direction. So.
While we're into this, I also want to kind of get into, before time gets away from us, is get into what you have on site now, because I know when I visited, you particularly had completely repotted a huge hundreds of azaleas and other plants out there. Yeah. Talk to us about what you've got sitting in front of you that people can see when they come and when they look, and what you can show them if they pull up on your lot.
Well, this old nursery was basically more azaleas and propagated azaleas, collection done by Jim Darden over his lifespan here in Clinton. He was a biologist, and he enjoyed camellias. And,
great guy.
Azaleas. He wrote a book on it, and it's been published. It's available. I think it's still available. But his hobby was azaleas. So there's over, I think Jim in his day was involved with over 300 different varieties here alone. And now it's dwindled down to about 80 of what we have left in the nursery of Jim's. So, and what we did is to restore the nursery is to go back, take everything back to bare root and repot it. And then we grew it back out. So we have areas of different varieties of azaleas that can be fit just about any garden here in the coastal South. So, and from anywhere from Raleigh all the way down to Myrtle Beach. So, and as far north as Virginia. So we have there's a lot of different varieties in our nursery alone, just in that. Now, we carry evergreens as well. We carry all sorts of perennials. We carry annuals and perennials. We also do a lot with just homeowner gardens. So we have veggies and all kinds of goodies sitting over there at the nursery as well. And we have Liz, and she's working on her jams and jelly operation, and we have that there, and our canned goods, which has turned out very well. So if anybody's looking forward to just even popping in, if not, bring a box of crackers and we'll pop open the jar and take a walk around and look for things. So
I think the beauty is that folks could actually see that as a designation site. If they just want to kind of get away for a little while and just kind of walk, as we did, and just kind of stroll through. You got 2 ponds out there. It's a very peaceful environment. And as you mentioned, definitely give a shout out to Liz, because she's done a lot of work in putting a lot of those kinds of things in cans and stuff, certified, by the way, to sell those kinds of products. It's a tremendous environment, and I would encourage people to not only take part of it, but go out. We've got one more part coming up the show, and I want to kind of dig into the challenge that you have as knowing the difference versus technology today, and how folks sometimes gets confused. And it's easy to happen. I mean, I can see it happening where people get confused and go, wow, I want that particular plant. And you were mentioning in off camera a while ago, this idea that particular plant don't fit. So,
there you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in a moment. Stay tuned. Coming up on the last part of the show with Raymond Bray. And this is probably as important as anything to you today in today's world. This could be a money-saving issue for you, where you learn some things about the plants, things might be going on in your backyard or things you've been thinking about doing was a great idea, but it might not be the best in your situation. This guy knows that. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment.
At Fisher's, it's not just about fashion. It's about exceptional service. Experience top-notch customer care and find your perfect look. Visit Fisher's today and feel the difference. Looking to refresh your home? At Clinton Appliance and Furniture, we've got everything you need to create the perfect space. We're here to help make your house a home with stylish furniture, appliances, flooring, design services, delivery, and repair. Visit ClintonAppliance.com to explore our selection or visit us at 401 Northeast Boulevard in Clinton. Shop local. Shop smart. Shop Clinton Appliance and Furniture.
At the Reedy Mark, we take pride in a unique, distinguished customer experience. We specialize in handcrafted cocktails, allocated bourbons, as well as gourmet signature food items exclusive to our menu at the Reedy Mark in Roseboro.
The average American household has 17 devices connected to the internet. With more and more devices able to get online, you may need to increase your internet speed. Call Star Communications today and let us help you select the package that's right for you.
This segment of We Should Know is brought to you by the Samson Independent.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. J.W. Simmons, your host. The name of the show is We Should Know. We're coming up on the last part of the show today. We've been talking about landscaping, horticulture, things to beautify the things around you, what you might want to plant, what you might want to, I don't know, maybe excavate or cut down or just look at the entire landscape that you see each and every day. And the person that is really into that and has dedicated his life to it is Raymond Bray with Terra Cottage Farms right here in Clinton at 2730 Beulah Road. And the telephone number, by the way, is 910-260-2151. Raymond, thank you for being with us.
Well, thank you.
Taking time. It's literally been a fast show. Most of them are, and I'm guarantee you will probably run into something that somebody will say. And I get this all the time. Why didn't you ask him this?
Well, it's interesting.
Exactly. So let's I'm just going to kind of open that door a little bit and say, okay, let's look at where we are in today's world. And it's easy to go on your computer or your phone and just hit it and pull up AI, and it gives you all kinds of stuff. And it even gives you visual, both video and structured pictures. And you look at it and go, wow, that is outstanding. That's exactly what I want. Do you ever get that and you have to compete with AI?
All the time. All the time. In the nursery industry, and when you have this type of business or this garden center that we have, we see the demand for plants based on that which is blooming around us. So we always get those that come in and they're asking for a plant that's purple and pink, and it's laid out perfectly. Yeah. And I'll say, well, do you have a picture of it? And they'll pull it out and they'll show me. I said, oh, good gosh, that's AI. I'm sorry, that's just not feasible. It's not going to happen. Well, no, it's real. It says it's real. No, it's not real. So that is AI. Well, my friend has one. Oh, really? Yeah. Where's she at? Oh, she's on my Facebook. So, and she said that she got one and she ordered one and she's waiting for it to come in and that it's real. I'm like, okay, all right. Just wait to see what comes out of it and then do that. But no, I've not heard of it, and I don't think it's very possible. Not even in God's creation is it possible for that plant to even come out looking like that color. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen.
Expectation versus reality.
Reality, right? Be real. So do the research. If you're looking for something, just say, yeah, I'll do this. I get several in there that come in. I want this rose. It's a pitch black rose. It's a black rose. I'm like, no, it's not real. So, I mean, it's black as black. AI has just taken this rose and just drummed it up into be a solid black rose. It's just not possible.
Dealing with reality.
Yeah, dealing with reality. We find ourselves not picking up the books anymore. Mm-hmm. We find ourselves not actually flipping through magazines. We actually find ourselves looking to Google to go ahead and identify a plant for us. And sometimes Google gets it wrong. And right down there, if you use the Google search, you look at it and it says, is this information helpful? And you got yes or no. And if you hit no, it says, how can we make this better? And it's like, well, why are you asking them? Yeah. if this is that plant indicator, or plant you have plant location, you have plant identifier apps, you have all these things, and they're not all correct. So do some research when you're looking at plants or you're trying to find something particular, do the research. So if it's a hydrangea, it's a hydrangea. Make sure it's a true hydrangea. Make sure it's a true rose. Make sure it's a true caladium. Find that AI will take you down the rabbit hole. So be
careful with whatever the AI is. If it's Chat GTP or any of the other ones out there, you're going to get a handful of whatever they put on that screen.
You got it. You're going to get it.
Practicality and reality.
Right. Do the reality check.
So let's. I guess where I'm headed now, and you kind of guide me here because I'm kind of in the dark. Where do you see Terra Cottage Farms, and you've been here a few years? Where do you see 2, 3, 5 years down the road? What do you want versus what you see the challenges are for people like you? I mean, there's other people out there that do landscaping, but with your background, it's like you've kind of come through one huge storm, and now you decided, look, I want to fight this one too. Where do you want to be?
Oh, where do we want to be at Terra? Well, we want to be community supportive, for one. 2, we'd like to bring more of the community in. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to bring things in to attract folks to spend some time there. Not just to buy plants, but just to spend some time there. Mm-hmm. So we have some of our goals is a farmer's market, doing that around there, and then doing some musical events, picnic events, party events out on the backside of the property. So once that's all finished, that's one of the long-term goals, is to draw community in and do events. Mm-hmm. Maybe if the pumpkin patch theme ever comes back around, do a pumpkin patch during the holidays. So maybe bring in Christmas trees. I try to listen to a lot of the community, but I don't get a lot of demand. So the more insight I can get, the more I'm able to go ahead and put something together. So to design more. So there's a lot for us to do out there. And we just enjoy the fact that some people just come out and bring their moms out. We have a couple families that come out during Mother's Day just to walk around and look at the flowers. Mm-hmm. So places are gorgeous. If we don't get a freeze, then we're going to have a lot of flowers come February, March, April, and May. And
that everything you just described kind of fits that model of ag tourism, which is a huge thing in North Carolina now. Well, the farms and different places, it's this modeling these environments just for people to step away from the storm.
Anything in a nursery is ag.
Yeah.
So it's all ag.
Huge ag.
So every bit of it's agriculture. Yes. So, because it's just a different form of a crop. It's not a corn stalk. It's a plant, but it's still being grown. So it is ag. So we just don't harvest it as quick. Mm-hmm. So we'd like to see it go quick, but it doesn't.
So I want to expand on that because I think there's people that, and I guess I'm always looking at it as kind of a prescription of healing. That there's people that always needs to kind of get away from the storm and have a place to go. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the recreation department, because you have laid out a place that you just pointed out. Somebody can pull in and just say to you, look, we just want to walk around and chat.
I'll just take a tour.
And I mean, it's all smooth. It's not like they got to climb hills. There's 2 nice ponds out there, and it's tranquil. I'm going to use that word. It's tranquil. And I think that this is an opportunity for them to do that away from the noise. And also, if they got questions, they go, I particularly like that. You're going to be there, and you can explain what it is.
Sure. Yeah. If they got questions, just ask.
Especially with the greenhouse. You got an enclosed greenhouse now with some beautiful flowering plants in it.
Yeah, it's there. We're moving some stuff back out now that the cold's gone. So.
Yeah.
we'll get back into some warmer weather here in a little bit.
But I think that's the other part of it is there is more warm weather months than there is cold weather months in this area.
Yeah. So yeah, we have. I think it's close to 285 days of growing season here in this area. So was it California? I think there's 320.
Yeah,
I believe that. So yeah, we've got a large. We've got good warm weather here. We really don't get to see too much cold. So most of our cold happens around January, February. So with maybe a possible freeze in April. But we have a good growing period here, so which puts us in that leading agricultural area.
Raymond, would you be open to like public schools if they wanted to do a tour with a class or something, doing something like that?
Sure, give us a call. Let us know what we're up against first.
Yeah, so. And I think it's important because we've talked a lot today about where we are. We've talked a little bit about where technology is sending us. But to help children today that's in that growing environment that may be not getting the reality check. To me, when I went out there and we rode through and I saw some of the things that's going on, there's a lot of reality checks there about nature that folks need to understand. And I could just see a lot of questions popping up. What is that for? Why are you using that? Mm-hmm. And if you don't give them the factual answer rather than hitting that computer, they may go for the next decade and think that what they're seeing on the computer screen is real.
I always believe in hands-on. So
absolutely.
I always believe in hands-on.
See it, touch it, and feel it.
Yep, you got it. It's going to be more, it's an impressionable adventure. So doing that. But yeah, we've had some people come out already, so we enjoy that as well. But if you're looking to bring any type of groups out, please let us know. Talk with us a little bit and let us know what we're up against and how best we can help you out. So,
well, ag is definitely a destination, and we're very blessed to have a lot of destinations in this area. One of those I want to kind of flag as your place and what you do there. I want to encourage people to do that. We're coming up here on the last of the show. I got about 60 seconds. I want to give you that time to just kind of cover anything you want to cover or say or put out there about Terra Cottage Farms and Raymond Bray. And I don't want to forget Liz, too. You can also see Liz.
Liz is a big part of it. So, well, we welcome anybody to come out. Again, you can reach us at our phone number, 910-260-2151, or you can go on and look us up on the internet. We are there under Terra Cottage Farms Nursery.com. You could also find us on Facebook and look for us there. We always talk about, we do things on there as well. We're pretty active with it when the seasons are there. So we're not as active. It means it's cold. So we're just trying to work on things. But feel free to come out and take a look, get to know us, come out. We'd love to get to know you. If you just want to come out and take a look around, you're more than welcome to. We love the company. So,
and if somebody's listening today and they got ideas or they want to do, like you were talking about, a pumpkin patch or something, a holiday theme, or even Easter coming up, give you some planning time. You can make that happen and work with them on that to see if it's a fit for your property and where you're at and the goals that you have as well.
So yeah, sure enough, if you've got any questions, anything you feel like you want to talk to us or you want to have some questions answered, you think we might be able to answer some of those questions for, bring what you got with you. So we'll sit down and take a look at it with you. Not a problem.
Well, again, thank you for being with us. Look forward to having you back. And maybe we can get some cameras out there one day and look at some of the stuff.
Yeah, I think I look forward to more. So
absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us. We look forward to seeing you each and every week right here on We Should Know. And as always, may God bless.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of We Should Know with host J.W. Simmons. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion regarding this or any episode, please send your emails to weshouldknowedu@gmail.com. And remember to tune in every Tuesday at 2:30 for another informative episode of We Should Know.